Hi guys, and welcome to LR Live UK. Thanks for joining us. In today's episode, I'm going to be replacing the entire windscreen wiper setup because we've got floppy wipers. So while we're in the cab, one of the jobs I'm going to do today on the dash is replace our wiper wheel box. Now the wiper wheel box is the piece that attaches on the inside of your dash, and it's got a cog inside and it rotates and moves your wipers. Now the original ones, the standard, are very floppy. They overrun, they judder about, they miss cogs. It's basically a worm drive that drives a little cog in there and that can become worn over time. So we're going to fit some heavy duty ones. Now it's a pretty serious upgrade, if I'm honest. This is the unit. It's very pretty, which is such a shame because it's one of those things that gets buried in the dash, but it's aluminium, CNC machined aluminium housing, with the mechanical gear being stainless steel. So this should be a really good upgrade. Now you can get these for pre-2002 and post-2002. There's a slight difference with the size of the shaft and everything, so make sure you order the right one if you're going to get one for your own vehicle. But you simply have to open up the cover here and you can see our cog in there that runs the drive. So there's the cog that runs the drive, and they give you a sachet of grease. So I'm just going to be pushing the grease inside the bottom channel there, all around the cog, going to rotate it by hand, make sure it's fully greased, then we'll get it into the dash. Now this is me from the future, and make sure you watch till the end of this video because there's a critical thing that I didn't do, and hopefully you'll notice it. If you watch to the end of the video, you'll notice what I've done wrong and you'll see how to correct it, because if you're going to do your windscreen wipers with a new motor, you will need to know this little hack. So I like to think we're building a fairly heavy duty vehicle here, so I'm pretty up to fitting these. Right, let's get this offered up. So what we have to do is just slide off that plastic cap there, undo the 15mm nut, remove our little washer, nylon washer, and then we'll push it into place. Now obviously you've got left hand and right hand drive vehicles, so make sure you put it in the right spindle hole. On left hand drive vehicles it is the one nearest the left hand side you start with, but on here we're going the nearest to the right hand side. So just feed it in, nylon on there, and you don't do these up too tight, but they do need to be tight enough to not move, obviously, when the whole thing's kicking in. This feels good, and then just got my little gasket on the end. So here I've got my unit. Now I might have to move this, but at the moment it's fine where it is. I'm also going to be replacing the hose for it. I'm just going to take this cover off and have a look inside. So if we get the circlip off, this should now pop off. Washer, there you go. Right, there's no resistance on there now, so what happens if we get it working? Let's try it, shall we? So there we go, ignition on, activate, that's 1 speed, 2 speed, still a bit jumpy, but it is going quicker. Does intermittent work? I don't think it did. So what we've got to do is stop it when this is at the bottom. So what we're going to do now is thread this through. We've got our bar in place, that's good. So these should just spin freely. There you go. Don't need that in there. And the far one. Let's get that in there. There we go. Let's get it plugged back in again. Okay, we're in our resting position. So, with the ignition on, if I turn this should move. Nope. We're off. We got 1 speed, but I think we had that before. We got 2 speed. Doesn't go back to how it should, does it? Just stops. Manual. Why is that return not working, I wonder? Because that's new. Maybe it's the wrong relay. Last thing to do is put a little trumpet on there. I think it's going to be easier if it's out. There we go. And don't forget your gasket, which I nearly did. I've got to the bottom of a little bit of our issue with the wipers. So for some reason, my bad, I had a flasher relay in the washer wipe relay slot. So I've put an aftermarket relay in there, and now it is going back to its reset position. Just goes to show that you know, things will work with the wrong equipment, but not properly. However, we are still getting a judder on full speed. Now, I think it would be remiss of me to fit these lovely spindles without actually having a decent motor on there, if that's the problem. So I have got a replacement Lucas motor. Now, these don't come with the gears inside. So there are three options for your motor. You can go for genuine, you can go for OE, which is the Lucas one, or you can go for aftermarket, which is the Britpart one. Now, 35 quid I think for the Britpart one, and about 60 quid for the Lucas one. I've gone for the Lucas one, the OEM, so I'm going to get this installed. I'm going to have to strip this off again, slightly different, got just like screws here. Now, I've also got a replacement gear here from All Makes, or is it Britpart? No, it's Britpart. Nothing special about it, but it is new. So just in case the teeth are ruined on there and I haven't noticed it, I'm going to replace that with the washers and everything else. We're going to rebuild the motor and stick it in, and then hopefully we'll get full speed. So let's give that a go. Right, there's not a lot of grease in there, so that's going to have to change. We're going to feed everything through here, locate this pin into that, get it inserted, get it nicely greased up, and then we should be good to go. What I'm going to do now is pop this in there. Okay, just have got to earth the unit, and let's see how it performs. Oh yeah, that's much faster. This little ramp here activates that little plunger, which must cut off the power for the reset position. So maybe it doesn't have to go in perfectly, but let's put it in anyway in that position. Like so. Grease. Okay, we are ready. So let's do up our little nut. Slide into place. Right, I've invested in one of these rubber mounts that go behind and between these. You should be able to now reconnect, and we've got to put a better earth on here, I think. So we're earthed, we're in. Let's see what we got. Right, I'm going to fit a zip tie to simulate the wiper. In theory, it should be in its resting position about there. Ignition, and we're off. Faster, slower, off, nice. Intermediate, and again, and again, and oh, there you go. Lovely. We are fully active. Perfect. Seems like a little thing, but you know what? That is well worth doing. Right, so how many of you noticed the wipers going the wrong way? I didn't until I looked at the footage when I was editing. I thought there's something not right there, and it was resting in the wrong place. So basically what we have to do, and this is so important because all of these units are set up like this, not because they're designed for left-hand drive cars, but they obviously have other applications where the resting point on other vehicles is different. So if you're going to be replacing your motor, you have to move the white stop plastic piece on this gear, and I'm going to show you that now. Right, circlip's now off the back, so slide this out. And what you'll see there is that white plastic piece, which is the isolator for the motor for the resting point. Now, hopefully you can see there's two holes here, so we have to take this white piece off there and move it to that side. But just pop off with a screwdriver, move it over to this side, pop it in those holes like so, and then reassemble. Now, no one should feel stupid for doing what I did, because I think everybody who's replaced a motor on their Defender has done the same thing. It doesn't tell you to do that, so watching this video is going to save you a heap of time. But we go down to resting now, and you can see, look at that, brilliant. Even on intermittent, it works. That's the first motor I've ever replaced on a Defender, and I wasn't aware you had to flip over that little white plastic stop on the cog to make it suitable for a right-hand drive Defender. If it's left-hand drive, if you're in the States, you haven't got to do any of that. It's all going to work perfectly. But if you're in the UK, you have to flip that little white piece of plastic over before you do the installation. But if you forget, like I did, it doesn't matter. You can still do it pretty easily. It took me about 5 minutes. Well, that's a good job done. It did turn out to be the replacement needed of nearly all the parts, which is a shame, but like you say, 30 years old, what do you expect? So we had to replace our motor, our relay, our wheel, which I'm not sure we had to do because the one on there didn't look too bad, but for the sake of it, might as well go all new. And our wiper wheels here as well with our spindles, the whole system replaced at this cost. So I'll put the cost on the screen of the whole job. You could do it cheaper if you used aftermarket parts, a little bit, probably save, I don't know, maybe £100, but that is, you know, a big job done. Now, it seems like it's an expense that might not be necessary, but windscreen wipers, come on guys, they are really important. On an expedition vehicle, I want to be able to drive in any condition, and those windscreen wiper wheels there will help me do it with the new motor. So, as you can see, we have done a bit more to the camper. We've got the doors on now. I'm not that happy with them, so I'm gonna have to make some changes, so I'll leave that for another episode. But before I go, just want to let you guys know, on a personal note, yesterday I got my all clear for prostate cancer. So it's taken 2 years of a prostatectomy, which is removing the prostate, having radiotherapy, and I finally got the all clear. It's all gone. My PSA levels are 0. All of that, in my mind, has only been possible because of people who have donated towards fighting prostate cancer and enabling sort of all these units to have the equipment and the medicines to sort of make people like me better, because it was pretty serious, and I'm just so grateful. So now is the time, if you don't mind, that I'm just going to mention we've got a little giving link below. If you could spare just $1 or £1, whatever, it would make such a massive difference, and I'd be personally so grateful. As you see, I've got the Tash, I've had it all month. I will be keeping it for 1 more week, so you'll see it, 1 more video, and then it will be gone. But if you feel like you want to contribute, if you want to donate a little bit towards prostate cancer, I'd be personally very grateful, and there's a link down below. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.